The so-called emotional intelligence is about knowing how to speak well. True emotional intelligence is not about being fake, but about being warm. I really like a host no matter how inappropriate the topic of debate is. He can speak very nobly. No matter how vulgar the other person is, he can skillfully turn it around and return to literature and elegance. His words are always soft, his posture always graceful, and always makes the other person look like a fool. If only I had such high emotional intelligence and could speak like him. When I told my friends about this, they all said, "You are very good at speaking. You are a rare combination of honesty and high emotional intelligence." Really, I swear all the time and have no filter. Do I still qualify? But they actually listed a lot of evidence of my ability to speak. I can't believe it. It turns out I'm so awesome. High emotional intelligence is indeed about knowing how to speak well. How to speak well. 1. Change all your wrong into right. I have a friend who loves to say no, no matter what others say. He always says no, not right. That's not it, but his following words are not to overturn others, just to add on. He just has the habit of saying no, and everyone hates him. Who likes to be denied? I interviewed a very knowledgeable professor and found that no matter how ridiculous the other person's words were, he would sincerely say yes, earnestly point out the valid points of your words, and then expand on it, sharing his own thoughts. As such an accomplished person, affirming your ridiculous ideas, you will be pleasantly surprised. By elevating your opinion to such a high level, you will find both yourself and him so remarkable. Since then, I have learned this point. Affirm the other person first, then express your own opinion, and the communication atmosphere will be much better. 2. When chatting, use you less and I more. When chatting, everyone just wants to talk about themselves. You share your experiences or your views on something, and then add "what about you" or "what do you think?" to give the other person space and power to express themselves, making you more lovable. 3. Using we more can quickly bring people closer. For example, when making plans with someone you've just met, instead of asking, "Where should we meet tomorrow?" change it to "Where should we meet tomorrow?" It's just a slight change in detail, but it makes it seem more intimate, right? 4. When praising others, don't be too vague. Be specific in your praise. "You are so beautiful. You are so smart. You are so awesome" are ordinary praises. A higher level of praise is to find out how the other person is beautiful, smart, or awesome. When people often compliment me, "Your book is so great. You have such good writing skills." To be honest, I would take it as a formality. But if someone tells me which article I wrote was especially good, or which part they particularly liked, I will be deeply moved, realizing that they genuinely like my writing. 5. Praise the lesser-known strengths of others, and praise the parts they expect to be praised. People who are beautiful hope that you praise their inner qualities. Entrepreneurs hope that you praise their humanistic feelings. Talented women hope that you praise their beauty and make up for their shortcomings. Damn, I can't help but be sarcastic again. Where's the high emotional intelligence? But if they really are superficial, really are unethical, really are ugly, you can't force yourself to praise. That's not high emotional intelligence. That's being 6. Use teasing to praise others. Honestly, sometimes I find direct praise quite cheesy, so I prefer to use a teasing style to compliment, which works better. For example, if you want to compliment someone on their great figure, you can say "you could be a bit shorter and a bit thicker, annoying. Stay away from me." For example, if you want to compliment a beautiful and talented woman, you can say, "According to international conventions, those who are beautiful are stupid. You are so good looking and so smart. This is against the rules. No, this is a crime." 7. Talk bad about someone in front of their face and say good things about them behind their back. Having high emotional intelligence does not mean you can't gossip. What's the point of friends if they can't gossip about each other? But please talk bad about someone in front of them and say good things about them behind their back. A former colleague, a beauty. I used to think she was very aloof, but one time I accidentally overheard someone saying bad things about me, and she defended me in an instant. My feelings for her multiplied. 8. You can make fun of your friends, but not of what they like, especially not of their idols. If you have a friend who is a fan of someone, you must remember this. You can say she's a brainless fan, but you absolutely cannot say her idol is brainless. I have 2 female friends who I've known for over a decade, and they are as important to me as family. One of them is a die-hard fan of Thomas Cruise, and the other accidentally said, "Thomas is really old, with so many wrinkles, and our friendship ended right there." Similarly, when you want to be friends with a fan, praise her idol not only for being handsome, but also for being kind, treating fans well, having talent. This is the fastest way to build a friendship. 9. When meeting for the first time, make an effort to remember the other person's name. Many years ago, when I first entered the newspaper, I was a complete rookie journalist, and one time I interviewed a celebrity and he asked for my name. Over a year later, when we met again, he called me by my name as soon as he saw me. It was so touching. Many people say, "I just can't remember other people's names." In fact, it's not that you can't remember, it's that you don't think it's that important. If you really realize how important it is, you can definitely remember. 10. Even in the heat of an argument, even if you're angry, you can't say things that really hurt the other person's self-esteem. Yes, it's easy to say hurtful things in an argument, but a big part of high emotional intelligence is not doing so. The more familiar you are with someone, the more you know their weak spots. So the hurtful things you say not only have a destructive effect, but also a devastating one. Don't take advantage of your familiarity with the other person to hurt them recklessly. 11. Being genuine means speaking the truth, not saying hurtful things. You can tease a friend about being overweight, but you can't call her as fat as a pig. Teasing and insulting are two different things. Humor and being rude are two different things. Being straightforward and not knowing the severity are two different things. 12. See through but don't expose. Leave a little room for others. If you find that someone has said something wrong or lied, don't expose them in front of everyone. If someone brings a counterfeit bag and brags about it, there's no need to expose them in front of Actually, buying a fake bag is already quite miserable. And if you buy a fake bag and still want to show it off as a real one, that's even more miserable. When a person is not strong enough, they try to use brand names to prove themselves, but once they become stronger and more confident, they will understand. 13. In social situations, consider the feelings of the minority. If you have a gathering with 10 people, even if 9 are from the same hometown, it's best not to speak in dialects, especially when the others can't understand. The one who can't understand will feel very awkward. If you have 10 people, even if 9 are colleagues or classmates, and the other person is not, don't just talk about your company or your class. The other person will feel very lonely. Take care of the minority. Talk about topics that everyone can participate in, and don't isolate anyone. 14. If you must show off, accompany it with a self-deprecating moment. In the unspoken rules of the British, it's specifically mentioned that if you want to show off your success, you must also share a moment of self-deprecation to ease the awkwardness of your success and prevent jealousy. If you must say, "I bought a $10,000 bag," then add, "just carried it out." A friend asked me if this knockoff bag was made pretty well. A grade A may be worth $1,000 or $2,000. 15. Replace "do you understand what I mean" with "did I explain it clearly?" Do you understand what I mean? Did you understand what I said? May seem normal, but it's actually not appropriate because it implies, "Idiot, did you understand what I said? Did you get my point?" If you change it to "did I explain it clearly?" This way it's not accusing, but self-reflecting. It's like, if I didn't explain it clearly, I can repeat it. Isn't that more polite? 16. Speaking out your little bit of lewdness can be more endearing. I don't believe that people with high emotional intelligence are all saints and selfless. But if you have selfish intentions, you might as well just say it. If there are 2 apples, one small and one big, and you want the big one, there are 2 ways to go about it. You can either give the small one to someone else and keep the big one for yourself, making the other person feel that you are really selfish. Or you can directly say, "I want to give you the big one, but I can't bear to. Can I not give it to you?" You are still being selfish, but you're being very cute about it. 17. Using self-deprecating humor in an interesting way, become your own sophisticated humor. When I was in college, a friend said that she often disliked me, but there's one thing she found particularly cute about me, and that's that I like self-dep. Every time I do it, she starts to like me again. Self-deprecation requires inner strength, thick skin, and a sense of humor. I turn my embarrassing moments into jokes and turn myself into a joke. Yang Mi used to be heavily criticized, but when she started to make fun of herself, many people began to like her. 18. One way to comfort someone is to share your own tragic story to help them heal. When someone is feeling down, the only way to heal is to know that you are not the most miserable. For example, a fan told me her boyfriend had cheated on her, and the key was that she found out 2 years after it happened. Everyone knew except for her. She thought about suicide. I replied, "My ex-boyfriend cheated on me for 5 years. How did I find out? His mistress at the time, who had been living with him for over a year, came to find me and said she couldn't stand it anymore. She had never seen such a brainless woman like me. I was stunned, went to confront my ex. He admitted that he had started cheating on me shortly after we started dating. We had a long-distance relationship for 5 years, and he cheated on me for 5 years. All of his friends knew, and I, like an idiot, thought he was good to me all that time." After hearing this, the fan felt much better. Mr. 19. Don't keep talking about your pain. Pain is not universal. People with high emotional intelligence will try to maximize their understanding and empathy for others' pain. They will be empathetic, and at the same time, they won't expect the same from you. So they won't keep complaining endlessly about their problems or spread negativity to others. 20. Don't say "I told you, so I knew it would be like this." Even if we remind others about something, they will still do it. And when they suffer or lose out or are deceived, we can't help but say, "I told you so." 21. When chatting, if the other person is interrupted, ask, "What were you going to say just now?" Sometimes it's even us who accidentally interrupt them. So while apologizing, remember to remind them, "You mentioned earlier that," let the other person feel that what they say is being respected. 22. Don't always have to win every conversation. Winning an argument may mean losing a relationship, especially with your family, with your good friends. You don't have to be so eager to win. 23. When talking about food, always remember what the other person likes to eat. As a foodie, I am naturally sensitive to things related to eating, and at the same time, I'm very attentive to what others like to eat. So next time we eat together, you can order dishes that the other person likes. Many great relationships come from these little details. 24. When sharing your glory, remember to mention others. I remember someone praised a celebrity, and he said to the crew sincerely that when making a movie, it's hard work for everyone, but only the actors get the praise, and he felt guilty about that. This is a sign of high emotional intelligence. In life, when you are praised, when you gain benefits, when you need to share an experience, don't forget to mention the people who helped you in this matter. 25. When taking responsibility, remember to mention yourself. I really hate people who shift blame, to the point that I have developed a habit. Whenever there's a problem, I first look for my own fault and review myself. So when a problem occurs, my first thought is to admit my mistake. 26. Don't lose your temper. Learn to manage your emotions. When you're angry, take a 10-second deep breath. Give yourself a buffer and think, is this situation so serious that I can only solve it by losing my temper? Is there a better way to handle this? 27. When rejecting someone, start by blaming yourself. For example, if someone asks me to write an article, I would say, "I have a really bad character. I'm a super procrastinator. I often stand people up. The most responsible thing I can do for you is not to take on this article. Please understand." The other person can only say, "Okay, let's work together another time." 28. When seeking cooperation, don't always talk about what you want. Talk about what you can offer the other person. When someone comes to me to collaborate on a project, and then they start talking about what they need, what they want to achieve, if I participate, their goals or wishes will be fulfilled. They forget one thing. You are neither my father nor my mother. Why should I help fulfill your dream? When job hunting, it's the same. Many people always say, "I really need this job." You should say instead, "I can bring this company, this position. What can you do?" Give the other person a reason to choose you. 29. Even with the most familiar and dearest people, always maintain respect and patience. Many people are very polite to strangers, but very impatient with family, partners, or close friends, and often blow up because they rely on the fact that the other person won't get angry. Why not leave your tenderness, thoughtfulness, happiness, and beauty for the people who love you the most? Many people say they don't like people with high emotional intelligence. They are fake. But I think true emotional intelligence is not about being fake, but about being warm. The essence of the techniques above is to respect others' opinions, find others' strengths, understand others' needs, and put others first. Think carefully about the people around you with high emotional intelligence. They are actually very generous and sincere. They genuinely love this world, genuinely appreciate other humans, and genuinely discover the beauty in everything. They understand empathy, understand consideration, and understand putting themselves in others' shoes. If morality means having others in your heart, high emotional intelligence is the same. It's about having others in your heart. Some people say, what's so great about people with high emotional intelligence? They lack real ability and just know how to take shortcuts. I don't think so. Emotional intelligence is also part of real ability. IQ determines your lower limit. EQ determines your upper limit. The extent to which people find your words comforting can determine how high you can reach. Even if not for ambition, not for success, high emotional intelligence can make you feel happy and fulfilled, making the people around you feel happy and fulfilled. Why wouldn't you want that?